Good afternoon, everybody. This is Great Lakes Storm Chasing Network. My name is Ryan, and we have quite a bit to go over today. There is a significant threat for significant severe weather here within the Great Lakes region. So what we're going to end up doing here is we're going to go state by state and break down these risks, as well as take an overall peek at the potential radar for this afternoon and primarily this evening. So first and foremost, starting with Illinois. Okay. Illinois has two distinct higher risk areas. Number one being up here, there's an enhanced risk up by Aurora, DeKalb, just to the west of Chicago, but also Rockford there as well. And then also portions of extreme southeast Wisconsin in that enhanced risk. That is going to be a risk for all hazards possible. Now, the enhanced is driven by hail. They're expecting the hail to be very big up in northern Illinois. There's a red area there up by Aurora, DeKalb, Rockford, and Chicago. You guys have the highest hail threat in northern Illinois there. However, there is a chance for tornadoes. We have a 5% tornado risk up there. So there is definitely a threat for all hazards possible, especially in northern Illinois. Okay. Now let's go to southern Illinois. Down here, there is a 10% hatched tornado outlook. That means they are worried about strong tornadoes tonight in extreme South Illinois, as well as Indiana. We'll go ahead and break that down a bit later. Indiana, also extreme Southwest Ohio, getting in on that enhanced risk for significant tornadoes being possible. Other areas, there's a 5% risk and also a 2% risk, a bit lower risk, but still a risk nonetheless. The entire region, except most of Wisconsin and also northern Michigan, you guys are in a tornado risk today. All of Indiana is in a risk. All of Ohio is in a risk. Most all of Illinois is in a risk for tornadoes today. Okay, so that is Illinois. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the rest of the region here. Let's go ahead and click on the region here really quickly and switch over so we can take a peek at, there we go. Your overall risk, there's a slight risk all the way up into central Michigan, all the way over to eastern Ohio, all encompassing southern Ohio, all of Indiana, and then most all of Illinois in that slight risk. The two enhanced risks are going to be for hail in northern Illinois and also for the southern part of Indiana, southwest Ohio, and also southern Illinois. That's going to be for significant tornadoes. With that being said, each area has different timings. Okay, so let's jump into the forecasted radar for tonight. Again, this is just an idea of what could happen, not to be taken as gospel. Looking at the radar, we're going to run this through the afternoon. We're going to see storms developing in northern Illinois right there. This is going to be at 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay, storms right there. They will be strengthening with all hazards being possible in northern Illinois. Now pay attention to south Illinois. Okay, well, first and foremost, Indiana goes off here as well, across into southern Michigan there. But watch what happens down here in southern Illinois. These cells down here in South Illinois and South Indiana will pose the risk for strong tornadoes being possible through the evening and overnight periods, primarily after 9 p.m. Could be a bit before, could be a bit after. But overall, the risk for tornadoes is highest currently down here in the enhanced risk, as we just looked at in that yellow hatched area from Marion, Evansville, Mount Vernon, all the way up close to Cincinnati and Dayton in Ohio. So if you're in that risk down there, you guys should be on alert tonight. But again, there is a threat for tornadoes across most of the entire region here in this green and also the red areas, in addition to the 10% yellow area. But overall, your timing on that is going to be pretty much after 8 to 9 p.m. Two distinct areas to monitor. Number one being that south area for strong tornadoes, but the second area up here in North Illinois, North Indiana, and South Michigan. We could see a couple tornadoes up there as well, but the primary risk up there is going to be hail and probably some gusty winds. There's going to be a very big question as we get into the evening of how capped the atmosphere is going to be. Now, what a cap is basically a stable layer of air above the surface that prevents storms from producing tornadoes and wind. We call them elevated thunderstorms, okay? If that happens, those cells further north would be primarily a hail risk. But if they become surface-based, the environment does support tornadoes up there. So it could be a conditional all hazards possible mode in both areas. Okay, so keep an eye if you're in both areas for sure. It's just we have a little bit more confidence in the scenario for tornadoes further south, which is why you have the 10% hatched area for tornadoes in the southern part of the states. But again, the northern area up here to southern Michigan, again, 7 p.m., 10 p.m. time frame. Between those time frames, work its way north. It will weaken with time. And again, that's going to be conditional on if they become surface-based through the evening hours. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys. We do plan to go live later on, a little bit later on this afternoon, evening when storms start to fire. We do have chasers who are going to be out in the field. We will be posting updates. But again, please be tuned in to your local NWS offices. Make sure you have a way to receive warnings. Today, especially with February, a lot of people are not expecting this threat at all. It's still technically winter here, but again, this is going to be a potentially dangerous evening across the Great Lakes region. We'll be here to keep you updated. So stay tuned for updates. But overall, that's all I have for you guys. Please stay safe. And like I said, please have a way to get warnings through the evening time frame. Stay safe, people.